Oils for kids. So we have a line that's specifically for kids, ages 2 to 12. So aside from the top 11 oils that come in the premium starter kit, if you have kids from 2 to 12 years old, these are some great oils for you to have on hand to help them get through whatever problems they may be encountering. So let's go through what some of these oils are. So the first one is, you're over here, Sniffle Ease. So this one, as the name says, is for when there's sniffles that are starting to happen. So at first sign, what I like to do, and I usually do this at bedtime, is as soon as I see my little girls just nose is starting to water up, I go ahead and I put 1 drop on the bottom of her feet, 1 drop on each foot actually, and then I just kind of massage it in there, and then I'll put whatever's left from my hand up in her chest area, so it could be closer to her nose as well. So I like to do that with Sniffle Ease. It's a great one for whenever you start seeing that those noses are starting to really have sniffle problems. I go ahead and apply that oil to the bottom of her feet. And again, these oils are already diluted for ages 2 to 12, so they're ready to go, and in the instructions it'll tell you exactly how to use them, and it normally tells you to do 1 to 2 drops or 2 to 4 drops in the desired area. The next one is our Sleepy Eyes. So let me try to get that. There you go. Sleepy Eyes. So that one is when you're trying to get your kids to get sleepy eyes, right? So if you have a child who just at night just goes absolutely nuts and takes a while to go to sleep, this one's a good oil to assist with that. I actually have a friend who tried this oil and also tried Peace and Calming in the diffuser, and it helped her child go from about 3 hours of craziness right before bedtime to about 30 minutes or less. So this is definitely an oil worth trying, and Peace and Calming is another one that's really good for that too. The next one is Owie, and this one has the older label. And these 3 oils, by the way, I've used personally on my child. And for the sleepy eyes, I just rub on the bottom of her feet, just like I do the Sniffle Ease right before bed. Rub it in the bottom of her feet. It takes about 20 to 30 minutes for these oils to start taking effect on the kids. And I'll rub a little bit maybe on her back, behind her back a little bit, just from the leftover of my hand. For the Owie, this one, there's actually a story behind this. The first time that I used this oil, my daughter was learning how to swim, and we have concrete around our pool. So one of the things that I taught her was when she jumps in, she has to go directly to the wall so that she can hold on, and then she can kind of walk with her hands to the edge of, or to the steps so that she can get out safely. And we did that several times one day, and that afternoon she also went to the neighbor's pool and did the same thing. And so she came home and she was like, "Mommy, my fingers are hurting." And I'm just thinking, you know, they're probably not. I didn't even look. Total bad mom moment. But I didn't even look because her dad had been going through some problems with his feet, and he was saying his toe hurt. So from time to time she'd be like, "My toe hurts," or "My fingers hurt," or something in her body hurt, because daddy was doing that. So when she came to me that day and she was like, "My fingers hurt," I kind of ignored her. And then she kept coming to me, and I was like, okay, let me just check them out. And when I looked at them, her fingers were kind of raw, which made me feel like terrible mom, of course. And first thing I thought about was the Owie oil, right? Because she has an Owie, so let me go test this out and see what happens. Well, what I did, because I always like to start very, very slow, especially on kids. These things are magical, they're powerful. I know they're diluted, but I still want to use them as safely as possible, not just on myself, but especially my daughter. So the thing I did, she had about 3 fingers that were a little raw. So I put 1 drop on the worst one, and then I just kind of rubbed her fingers together. And I made sure that she didn't like try to stick them in her mouth. I let her know it was important for her not to do that, and just to kind of let them dry out. And I did that on both her hands, just 1 drop on each hand for each, and then rub them on the fingers. And I kid you not, she did not tell me anymore that her fingers hurt after that. And when I asked her, you know, how are your fingers feeling, right before I got her into the bath, she was like, they feel fine. So pretty amazing stuff. This was the actual first oil that I ever used on her, and I was just so impressed by just how well it worked for her that that's when I started using some of the other oils. So there's 2 other oils. These I have not used yet, but I can tell you what they're for. And this one is our tummy gies. So just like we have digies for adults, we have tummy gies for kids, 2 to 12. So with this one, my camera just kind of fell a little, so I'm just gonna go with it. So with this one, you rub it on their belly, right? Because that's what you're trying to alleviate, is any tummy issues that they may be having. I have not used this one yet, so I can't tell you if this has worked for my daughter or not. But again, everybody's different. So a kid oil may not work for your child. You may actually have to do digies diluted on them, or Sniffle Ease, or something that's more for digestive support. So even though these are specifically for kids, doesn't mean that this is like the only oil that will work for your child. So just kind of keep that in mind. But this one, again, you just rub. It says, I think this one said 2 to 4 drops directly on affected area. Already diluted. You don't have to dilute this oil or anything. It already has carrier oil in it. So that's for tummy troubles. And then the last one in the kids set would be Genius. So this oil right here is to help your child focus. So I've heard that they put it behind the ears. I have not tried this yet. But again, this one is to do 2 to 4 drops directly on desired area. So you can put them on the bottom of the feet, related to like the areas of your brain, which is your big toe, that can help keep a child focused. These oils, you can also diffuse them. I wouldn't diffuse them very often because they do have some carrier oil on them. So it can possibly mess up your diffuser, but, or it may not. Honestly, I don't know, but I would just be a little more cautious about diffusing these like every day or something. But these are more specifically for topical use. These are not to be ingested at all. And honestly, I would not have your kids ingest any type of oil. So leave that for adults. So that is it. That is our kids line. Those are some of the oils that you can get that are specific for kids 2 to 12. And it's something that you would get aside from the oils that come in your premium starter kit. We have, I believe it's like over 160 oils or something like that. I don't know the exact number, but we have a ton of different oils that are meant for adults, but can also be used by kids as long as they have the proper dilution chart. So that's it. If you have questions, just post them below and I'll be happy to answer them for you.